A narcissistic relationship is a mini cult where the narcissist is, of course, the leader and the victim is the member. It is very commonly known that a big cult has a group leader, and under this group leader are the various levels of membership. And do you know what this group leader uses to manage these memberships and keep the members in the cult? It is the brainwashing, it's the mind control. Hi, I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional, and today I'll be talking about the striking similarity between the dynamics of a cult and the dynamics of a narcissistic relationship. So let's begin. For a cult to attract a new member, they have to be manipulative and deceptive, meaning they have to be projecting themselves as the solution to the problems a potential member is facing in their life. They have to portray themselves as a source to get needs fulfilled that the person is wanting to get fulfilled. And to do that, they have to lie about the facts. They have to distort the history. They have to, create an illusion, a facade to get the person in and then begin the mega manipulation. You could compare it with the love bombing stage in the narcissistic relationship and be surprised by the similarity of how the same techniques are applied by the narcissists. They portray themselves as charming and loving and the kindest person who have the best interests in for you. But the truth is, it's all a trap they are setting to get you in and then have the control over you. Now, coming back to the cult dynamics, once you are in, once you are charmed by what the cult has to offer, they start covert control. They start the control in disguise. For example, you join a cult that is around weight management, weight loss, or some kind of health issue. In the disguise of improvement, in the disguise of helping you to lose your weight, they would start managing your diet. They would start changing your sleep patterns. They would start changing your activity levels, which is basically the stage by stage demoralization and breakdown of who you are. The same thing starts to happen once you are under the narcissist's grip. They start controlling the way you communicate. Either they keep you awake, by messaging you a lot, or, they pass covert comments about what you should be wearing, who you should be hanging out with, and, what you should be doing basically with your life. So this is the point where they start getting inside your head in a very covert and silent way. And once you have been manipulated enough, the second stage begins, which in a mega cult would be indoctrination. Indoctrination is, wanting the members to have a particular set of beliefs without having them question the beliefs that you are teaching them. It's just accepting the beliefs, a particular set of ideas, without using the critical analysis or the rational part of your brain. So the same happens in the narcissistic relationship. A narcissist wants you to believe that they are the only source of your support. They are the only one who think in good terms about you. They are the only one who you could rely on in the times of the crisis. And this is the systematic isolation that happens here. They start covertly isolating you from your friends by saying, by giving you petty excuses and by manipulating that they are this and they are that. And even it can go to the level of separating you from your own family. So this is the process of isolation and indoctrination. It is followed by making you feel special. It's like they give the reason that they are doing it because you're special for them. They are so concerned for you, and they just want, your attention to be only focused on them. They don't want anything bad to be happening to you. So it's all around the sense of specialness and the idea of isolation, so that they can fully and completely control you. And as that has happened, as the indoctrination has happened, as the uh, cult leader, they know that you have started to accept their set of ideas and the way they see the world, they start devaluation in the disguise of constructive feedback, criticizing you for your past, the way you have been, the way you handle yourself, the way you do things in the present. And they could even punish you and devalue you in the by giving you silent treatment, stonewalling you, by stopping positive reinforcement, by isolating you further, like not giving you the supply, not giving you the reasons enough to regulate yourself to feel better. And at this point, they are clever enough to do it because they know that this is the point where you are not going to leave the cult, because you have already been brainwashed. Your brain has been changed deeply. So you feel forced to stay because they literally make the cult as your identity. So same happens in the narcissistic relationship. They start devaluation. The mask falls. They are the person you never thought they would be at the first place. And this is something that I talked about in the yesterday's video. They stonewall you, they give you silent treatment, and they give you those mini breadcrumbs if they feel that you are just fluctuating and wanting to exit, to keep you there stuck in the dynamic, to the point where you stop asking for anything because they know you are not going to leave anyway, because the brain has been conditioned, programmed and changed, hypnotized in that way. Now after that happens, the final thing that the cult wants to happen is the ultimate dependence on them. It's like when they have slowly cut you off from the family, made them as the source of support, as the only source that you can rely on, and literally changed you into them. They want to create the ultimate dependence and want you to rely on them so that you could never ever think of leaving. And it is done slowly through deception, through control in disguise, through breadcrumbing, through gaslighting, through all of the things that I have just explained. The same thing happens in the narcissistic relationship again. The narcissist wants the ultimate dependence so that you couldn't even think of leaving, so that you could be the continuous ultimate source of supply, and they could keep extracting it without having to think that you're going to leave, without having to think that they are going to need a new supply. And it's very similar to the cult. It's like they want you to be dependent on them to the point that they want their mission, their propaganda to be, spreading, and you being the one who is spreading that without they having to put in efforts into you any further for doing it. So you could clearly see how the similarities between the two dynamics are really big. And then if you were to read further, the impact of being in a cult on the brain, you would understand that it literally becomes out of control for a person to rationally decide their actions. It's a systematic demoralization, devaluation, breakdown of a person's personality, and the systematic or osmotic poisoning, this is what I would call it, of a person, and the total damage that is done in both of these dynamics. I hope this video or this podcast, if you're listening to this on Spotify or any other app, was able to give you in-depth understanding of how the dynamics work and how complicated they are, and how the questions like why didn't you leave early, why didn't you see the abuse coming, why did you take it, all of that bullshit, it doesn't make any sense. It's useless and like kind of a victim blaming when there is nothing to be blamed on the victim. I'll talk with you very soon. Till then, let the healing begin.